Hi, it's Brad Purvis from Duncan, Dovico and Below the Bottom Line. This is our continuing educational series produced by The Practice, and today we're talking about self-managed super funds. I'm joined by Nasr, Hussain and Rory Wood. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Brad.
Nasr and Rory are heavily involved in The Practice in the self-managed super fund area, so we thought we'd get together today and have a little bit of a chat. Today's topic's about pension stage and self-managed super. So that's the stage where we take our money out and we get access to our funds, gentlemen. Nasr, do you want to maybe start us off? Let's have a little bit of a chat about conditions of release and how do we actually get our hands on our pension stage?
Thanks, Brad. Yeah, condition of release, there's three major types of condition of release where a member can go into a pension mode. So the first one is when the member returns at the age of 55. That's one of the condition of release. The second one is when they hit when they retire from the workforce, and the third one is when they attain the age of 65. So those three conditions has to be met before accessing any super funds, any money from your super fund.
Okay, and if we're retiring from our workforce, my understanding is that we're retiring with no intention to return to work. There are some circumstances where things might change down the track. So, there are some little tweaks on some of those rules, aren't there?
Yeah, if the intention is to retire and down the line when the member wants to get back into the workforce, they can, and then they can again set up another pension.
Okay. Now, Rory, what about transition to retirement income streams? We hear a lot about that. So sometimes it's known as a TRIS.
Yep.
How does that work?
Oh, well, from the age of when you reach preservation age, or from the age of 55, you can effectively, while still working, start a transition to retirement income stream. And this effectively means you can start your own pension with a minimum of your 4% of your account balance and a maximum of 10% account balance for the year.
So I think what can happen too is people can be perhaps sacrificing quite a bit of their salary into super, so maximising their contributions potentially, and then drawing out a pension from their super fund. So there's some money still going in, even though they're drawing it out.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a combination of accumulation and pension, isn't it?
It can also be a tax-effective way for the client as well, depending on their income tax circumstances.
Okay, so they could be saving a bit on their marginal rate from their salary, and getting some sort of benefit on the tax rates.
Yeah,
great. Righto, so tax advantages in pension stage. Now, there's a lot of discussion going on at the moment. This production's being made today. It's the 6th of June. So a lot of these things haven't been legislated. Where are we now, Nasr? And Rory might talk a bit about these potential changes.
The potential changes which hasn't been, these are the proposed changes which hasn't been legislated yet. So what the government is saying is that the investment earnings on each super fund, if the investment earning is more than $100,000, you potentially be paying 15% tax per member. So
on the amount over 100,000.
Over the $100,000.
Okay, so that's if it gets legislated.
Yeah.
Which it's not at the moment.
No.
So right now, if I'm in pension stage, what's happening inside my super fund?
Yeah, if your super fund is in pension mode, you pay zero tax on your investment earnings.
This is a pretty good outcome, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So really, at the moment, super funds and pensions is effectively a tax haven. In the zero tax, great result. And if this rule gets, or if these proposed changes get legislated, Rory, it's still reasonably attractive, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got there's still zero tax on capital gains events. That could be transitioned out over the future years, but at the moment it's still zero. So
if I'm holding a whole bundle of shares or a property in my super fund, assuming this, subject to when that rule changes, I'm paying zero, and I've still got this $100,000 rule. Where I said we haven't seen the fine print, but we're thinking that's $100,000 for each individual.
Yeah, per member.
Per member. So a fund could if that rule goes through, a fund might be able to earn $200,000, $100,000 to each member before it kicks in.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so look, we thought we'd just cover off on some of those issues relating to a pension fund. If you've got more queries, obviously the two gentlemen on my left and right, whichever way you're looking at the screen, are the gentlemen to speak to, Rory and Nasr, myself or George or other members of the team. It obviously pays to get quality advice, which includes talking to your financial planner or your stockbroker. Both those parties we work closely with. More details about our contact points will be on the screen. But until next time, we'll see you below the bottom line.
Thanks.